This is a podcast about our lived experience, which unfortunately includes infant death and subsequent mental health struggles. Please take good care of yourself and only listen if this content feels safe for you right now. We'll still be here when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Judith.
And I'm Alina. We are internet friends turned real-life friends who both experienced the tragic loss of our sons to sudden infant death syndrome in winter of 2021.
In the year after Aiden died, my husband and I both became unemployed. My parents divorced, and we had to move 5 times for various reasons.
And as for me, just a few weeks before my son Quinn died, my then husband had come out to me as a transgender woman, and we're subsequently divorcing.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
But as long as we're living, we will love our sons deeply and work to make sure that we live a life that makes them proud.
Welcome to As Long As I'm Living podcast.
We're so glad you're here. Hi. It is possible that the charger to this laptop is downstairs, but I have, before it dies, some time. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Okay, let's go. So state of the podcast, we have a couple, I want to just draw everybody's attention. I'm going to link in the description. We have a bunch of interviews recently. We had our 2 return to work episodes. Are you worried about your battery?
Yeah. I just got upstairs and I'm out of breath. Okay, hold on. You talk about the
perfect. Okay. So we have done a bunch of interviews recently, and we have a bunch of interviews coming up that we're really excited about. I want to just make sure everybody knows that we did an interview with each of our moms for Mother's Day. That one's fantastic. It's called Mothering a Grieving Mother. We have 2 interviews about returning to work. One is called Start Healing Together with Jackie Mancinelli, who founded the organization Start Healing Together, which helps educators advocate for themselves in the workplace after infant loss, stillbirth, TFMR, infertility, miscarriage, etc. Advocating for time off and for other things that can help them as they come back to work. And then this week, as we record it, the week of May 23rd, we released an episode called There Is No Moving On, which is an interview with pediatric cardiologist Jennifer Sue. She founded an organization called Aaron's Foundation after her son Aaron, who died of SIDS a couple of years ago. And we talk in that episode as well about what it's like to return to work, especially in her field where, you know, Judith and I are kind of able to be bad at our jobs temporarily while, you know, after infant loss, but you can't really be bad at your job when you're a pediatric cardiologist. So she has a really interesting perspective on that. We also did an interview with my friend Jill. She's Hadley's mom. She and her husband Eric had to terminate their very, very, very wanted pregnancy for medical reasons because Hadley wasn't well. And that interview is spectacular, and I really would encourage you to listen to it. I will link all of these in the description. And then I also just want to say Judith and I are, we are idiots. When it comes to this podcast, guys, how many times? We talk all the time. We are amateurs. And the 2 of us have been laughing so hard the last couple of days because I don't know if you notice our Instagram is not very professional and we don't really care about it that much, but we're getting more and more and more followers, and you all are so lovely, and it feels so good to chat with you on there. But we are realizing we kind of need to get our act together when it comes to posting. Right? You're muted. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself? I muted you when you were making noise.
We looked at all these pretty, beautiful, aesthetically pleasing Instagram accounts, and we just thought that everyone was a really good graphic designer. Like, I don't know how we didn't put 2 and 2 together that, like, there must be an easy way to get it to be so beautiful. We just assumed that they were really talented. Turns out everyone is using a template. So we will be doing we're gonna do like a little bit of a reboot of our Instagram. We're gonna make it look a little prettier, more cleaner, professional, and we're also revamping our logo.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We are very excited.
It's important to us to get it right because we want to encapsulate everything that we are into one teeny picture that's the size of like half a centimeter. Mm-hmm. It's not easy.
No, it is not easy at all. But we're excited about it. We are excited about it. So we are such messes, Judith. I mean, both of us, neither of us is a particularly like, you know, graphically designery oriented person. So I think genuinely, I just thought like, oh, you know, we have other strengths and those aren't ours. So, oh, well.
so glad that there's an easy way to do this, and we're just gonna pay $20 or whatever it is and call it a
And
day.
guess what, everybody, if you're listening and you're like, how does everybody have such nice looking Instagram posts? There are templates.
And I think they're probably free ones too.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so those are all the updates. Another update we should probably just share is that you and I will be going on our grief retreat.
Yes.
Alina and I are going to be going to the cabin at the end of June. I want to figure out how we're going to go about it and what we're going to do in terms of like recording and if we're going to have an Instagram live. So we'll talk about that offline, but I just want everyone to know that we're really excited to spend time together in person and go back on a grief retreat and kind of think about how far we've come, and maybe we can do an episode about what we did on that last retreat that we created for ourselves.
I think that would be so nice.
I mean, what are we going to say? We were not sober?
We were high. We were high for 3 days in a row.
So I don't know exactly what we're going to be able to construct this time, but that is good news, and I'm excited to be together.
All right. Well, the rest of today's episode is speaking of amateurs. We got together at one point, tried to record an episode about the physical side effects of grief. And what you're about to hear is a completely unedited mess. We did not have enough time to record. We were rushing. We were all over the place. There was like audio issues, internet issues. Just, we think this is funny. We will re-record this content for you at some point. We think it's an important conversation. This what you're about to hear is not an important conversation. This is us in our real grief brain, discombobulated selves. So, oh man. So, yeah, these are our real selves. This is what I edit out of most of our other episodes. So, enjoy. Look,
yes.
You have a floofity floof.
I've got a floofity floof. That's right. How are you?
I'm good. I had such a great day yesterday, Tyler, and I had such a
Oh my
fun
God.
birthday.
I know you guys were so cute when I called you at night. You were so funny. I was dying. And I was also so jealous. I was dying and jealous.
I just remembered that we had that phone call because I was so high last night.
But it sounded like such a fun day. Is he there now?
No, I came home. By the way, I have an enormous pimple. I have stuff on my face right now. I have my period. It's so stupid. Periods are so dumb, Judith.
Girl, I'm with you. I agree. I have a bloodbath coming out of me.
Man, being a woman, huh? It's thrilling.
Being a woman, it's a trip.
All right,
It's
what are
a
we
trip.
talking? What are we talking about today?
I think you wanted to talk about the physical symptoms of grief.
I think that could be an episode that takes us a long time, though, to talk.
Okay, so you
know what?
so
No,
you wanna
let's
talk about
let's
something?
bang it out. We're gonna bang it the fuck out. Okay.
That's
Let's
right,
do
we
it.
are.
All right,
Okay, let's do
listeners.
it.
Listeners, this is an important topic, and we are going to do it in 18 minutes because I have a work meeting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, so Megan Devine, she has a companion journal to It's Okay That You're Not Okay. The journal is called How to Carry What Can't Be Fixed. And in it, on page 10, she has a list of like physical side effects of grief. And I thought we could go through this list and basically like, talk about them. Did we experience them? Did we not?
Okay, but first I
Stories?
want to tell you a story.
Okay.
First, I want to tell you a story before we dive into the list. So I recently got in touch with, I don't know, how do you classify people that you know, but like you would never call and like
An
you don't ever
acquaintance?
really talk to them?
An acquaintance?
An acquaintance. But I was at her wedding, but
Okay.
I don't know why, but I've always liked her. Anyway, so she had a stillbirth, and so I think I'm one of the very few people she knows that's lost a child.
Yeah.
And so she is just, 3 or 4 weeks in, and I have been reliving a lot of it
The early
through
days.
her.
Yeah.
So I think that the early days, so I think I'm really well equipped to talk about the physical symptoms because there are some that I forgot about, but I'm talking to her about right now. And she's like, is this normal? And I just want to say how much of it is normal, like there's certain things like I think we could say being exhausted maybe is to be expected. We could talk about that later. But the early days of
Hang on, pause for a second. I'm going to switch my Wi-Fi because you're cutting out like crazy.
brain fog
and,
and
hang
confusion,
on, pause,
just
pause,
like
pause.
pure confusion about where you, okay.
Sorry, my internet is so unstable and you're cutting out constantly and the audio is going to be horrendous. Okay. Doesn't my internet know?
Hello?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, you're back.
Okay, so you were saying you've been meeting with this person who's new in it. Go ahead.
I was just saying that I feel like there are certain things I forgot about what the early days look like. And I think it changes over time. So I guess let's start with like the early days physical symptoms. I think the most salient one is, I know for me, sleeplessness.
Yeah.
Just not being able to sleep at night at all.
Yeah.
And I know that I needed Xanax to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And another one that I really want to talk about is loss of appetite.
Mm-hmm.
I lost 10 pounds in a month and I wouldn't eat anything. The only thing I would eat was mashed potatoes and soup.
Yep. For sure, I had loss of appetite immediately. Like food tasted like sand. Like it was like there was just nothing that tasted good. And I remember a friend of a family friend mailed us cookies, and I remember there was probably 2 weeks where the only food I ate was I would eat one cookie at breakfast, I'd eat one cookie at lunch, and I'd eat one or two cookies at dinner. I was just like snacking on cookies because it was like the only
Those must have been good cookies.
So they were like oatmeal cookies. They were really good, but they that was like the only thing I could get myself to put into my mouth.
Yeah. I just, the same thing, like.
Hang on. I'm so sorry. The internet is so bad, Judith. I literally I'm not going to be able to use this audio. So we have to use Zencaster because it'll at least record locally.
But I can't use Zencaster because I can't go downstairs. But why don't we, because I can only use Zencaster from a computer. You can't use Zencaster from a phone. Right. You don't want to log back in and log back in out because you just had a Zoom with your coworker.
It is actually my internet because my internet, like I'm trying to load this page that has the physical symptoms of grief and it's half loaded. Like my internet is completely fucked right now for some reason.
Can you disconnect and reconnect?
Okay, I'll try that. I'm going to log out of the Zoom. This is so annoying. We're not going to be able to record anything useful.
Let's just try.
Okay.
Logging
really
out,
wish I did not.
Logging in, and I'll see you.
Okay, I'll see you in a minute.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
How's that?
I restarted my computer. Ooh, you're so much clearer.
Should we turn off our videos?
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
Okay.
Oh, I miss your cute face.
I'm missing your face too.
Okay.
But I know you're there.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, here's what I think we should do. Let's talk symptoms of grief. And I think let's just talk about physical today. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, but that defeats the point of canceling the video, but okay.
But let's talk about these only today, and then we can talk about these another time.
Okay, can you zoom in?
Yes, of course. Of course I can. Whoops. Can I?
Oh.
I'll just make this big.
Okay, so, wow, I like this one.
Okay, hold on. Bring to front. Yeah, okay.
So let's talk about grinding teeth. That is not one I could have ever anticipated. I have never ground my teeth in my entire life. But after Aiden died, I had to get a bite plate.
Yeah. I mean, this happened to me too. I went to the dentist and he was like, "Are you a clencher?" And I was like, "Well, no, not usually." He's like, "Well, I can tell you've been clenching." And I was like, "Well, my son died." And he said, "Oh."
Yeah. I remember they told me something like the amount of pressure that is on your mouth when you clench your teeth is like 700 times the size of your head, or some ridiculous number.
Oh my
Like it's
God.
really like it's the amount of intensity when you clench your teeth. And you know what's interesting? I have found that since the baby was born, I have been grinding my teeth and clenching again. And it's just
Ooh,
something to think about. I don't know why. But yeah. So
anxiety.
yes, grinding teeth. Yeah, must be. Another one it says here is chest tightness or difficult breathing. Did you
Mm.
have that?
I don't think I did have that. No. Did you?
I remember, well, only because I would cry so hard, I would lose my breath.
Oh, well, yes, that is true for sure. For sure. Definitely.
And what about any of these? Like, what other ones do you feel like you
All
felt?
right, so let's go through this list. So the beginning is avoidance and isolation. I mean, certainly. This is the physical and behavioral category. Avoidance and isolation, yes, obviously. We've talked about that in a couple of different episodes. No question. Change in appetite, yes. I'm going to say this story again. So when Quinn first died, I literally was unable to eat, like just food. I didn't even realize that food tasted bad, but it tasted terrible. So I would just like a family friend they mailed us cookies and I just like would eat one cookie for breakfast, one cookie for lunch, like two cookies for dinner because I couldn't even eat
Do
food.
you
Like it just
think that the
tasted bad.
reason that that is like the fight or flight mode? Like
Mm.
you don't think about eating because your
Yes.
body is using all of its energy for other things.
Yeah, I read something that like basically when you're in fight or flight, like your body shuts down all of the systems that are needed to keep it alive in normal times, like the digestion, all of that stuff, like it stops diverting energy there because you're literally just trying to survive like, the bear attacking you or whatever it is that your body thinks is going on. Um,
Yeah.
and so it makes perfect sense to me that like your digestion and everything would just be completely fucked. But yeah,
I want to
I
about
had
changing
so many
appetite
digestive issues,
that my
so many
husband's
digestive issues.
experience was different because I lost 10 pounds in a month, but he gained 10 pounds in a month.
Yeah.
And he could not stop eating. Alina, when I say not stop eating, I mean platters and platters of food.
I think it goes either way. It really goes both ways
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
And the next one on this list is exhaustion. I
Oh,
think that we feel exhaustion still all the time.
yes.
Grief is exhausting.
I mean, I feel existentially tired, like just living my
I do
life.
too.
Oh, and when you think about it, you're constantly multitasking when you're grieving because your
Yes.
brain and your body are trying to find this baby that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like, of course you're tired.
Did we ever talk about the dreams I would have at night?
I don't think so. I don't think on the podcast, no.
Well, I think part of it is that I just was never really sleeping well. Even when I was
Yeah.
taking the Xanax, I wasn't getting any good quality sleep because in my dreams, I would be looking for Aiden. Like I would like be locked out of the house and he would be in the house, or I'd find out he was in the hospital in like a closet somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'd be like pounding on the door to get in. Or I remember one very vivid dream I had where I ran up to the top of a hill and I was like, "Oh, where's my baby? I heard he's here." And they're like, "He's on the top of that hill." And I ran up to that hill and I was like, "Where's my baby? I heard he's here." And they're like, "No, he's back at the first hill." And I spent all night running back and forth between these hills.
Oh my
So I woke
gosh.
up and obviously I was exhausted. And I think like now maybe the exhaustion has shifted a little bit because I am, like I sleep regularly.
Right.
But I think the difference is that existential exhaustion.
Mhm. Yes.
Like it's exhausting being alive. It takes so much energy to live,
Yeah. 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 I completely agree. The exhaustion, I would say that's one of the most prevalent for me still.
So yeah, still.
Flu-like symptoms. I don't know that I had that. I mean, I talked about like I did have digestive issues, but I think that was separate. I don't know about flu-like. Did you have flu-like symptoms?
No.
Yeah. Okay, grinding teeth we talked about. Headaches. I did not really get headaches.
I did not. Well, I get migraines normally, but I don't have an increased migraine now than I did before.
Yeah, me neither. Immune suppression. I don't think I got sick more, but that said, we were in isolation for COVID. So I think I wasn't being exposed to that many germs.
Yes.
Inability to sleep. Oh my. Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't sleep. Could not sleep.
One that I don't see on this list is just general confusion. I remember I had a hard time, and I still have a hard time reading.
Yes. I think that might be in the mental section, which we can talk about in another episode. Intensified startle reflex. This one, Judith, is huge for me. Huge. So I was always somebody who I would say like I startled quick, like more than the average person. But now I will get startled like heart pounding at the smallest things.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, I think it's a trauma response, right? Like I think it's my body is just so activated. It's like always in a little bit of a state of activation. So it just like hops to terror, quickly. Like Tyler all the time will like just do something or like make a noise and I'm like, ah! Like I just completely get
like
so
you're
jumpy.
Constantly just a little bit on guard.
Yes. He like opened a bottle of champagne, like an already opened bottle, but just retook the cork out. And it like, so it wasn't like a full pop. It was just like a half pop. And I was like, my heart was racing.
Isn't that weird?
Yes. It's so weird. It's so, oh my gosh. One thing that I don't see them have on here that was so true for me was clumsiness. I got so clumsy.
Yes.
I fell and rolled my ankle. I rolled my ankle walking down the stairs. Oh, hair loss. Well, that's tricky because we were postpartum too.
But I also think it was exacerbated by the fact that I was grieving. I mean,
I think so too.
And not only hair loss, but gray hairs. I am fully gray, not fully gray. Let's be honest. I have like serious gray sections that I did not have before. Yeah. And I 100% attribute that to Aiden.
I had started my postpartum hair loss a couple days before Quinn died. Like I lost a big chunk of hair in the shower while he was still alive. I was also having a lot of stress because, Kaylee had just come out to me, but postpartum hair loss is normal. And so then he died. And then it was like, my hair just started completely falling out. And so it is hard to say like how much of that I can attribute to his death. But I do think like the poor nutrition, because I wasn't really eating, the lack of sleep, the fight or flight, like I think it all contributed. I lost so much hair. I was bald. And like you said, Judith, like I also have a little patch of gray hair that's new.
I have a patch of gray hair. And it's hard for me to look at. I know you really like your patch of gray hair, but for me, it just, I don't really like my patch of gray hair. And it just is hard for me to look at because I just wish that Aiden left me with something like beautiful. Like, like I feel like he didn't really leave me with so many beautiful things.
Yeah. Your inner beauty. He left you with inner beauty.
He left me with inner beauty, but like it would be nice if it was like, I don't know, a new higher cheekbones or something.
Sure.
Instead of like a couple stretch marks and gray hair.
All right, let's stop there. I really would love to do this again. Do you think you have like a couple minutes at 11 to finish this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just text me.
Okay, sounds good. All right, bye.
Okay, have fun. Bye.
Oh, I will. Spoiler, we never finished that recording. Oh my gosh. Ridiculous. So this we're releasing this as a bonus episode because we are going to at some point do the physical symptoms of grief episode, and that one will be a little bit more polished, much more complete, so you can fully expect to hear some of that again. But hope you enjoyed. We are ridiculous and we are complete and total amateurs, and it will probably always be that way because our grieving brains can't handle learning new things. So have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.
To all of our wonderful new friends, we want to hear from you. Email us at aslongasimlivingpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at aslongasimlivingpodcast. We'll get back to you as soon as our grieving brains allow. Yay!